Wendy Bell Radio is live.
And it's 24 hours away, guys. I know, the countdown to Brock's 50th birthday. Hello, hello, and out of the gates, our friend from disinfectwithsniper.com is dropping a deal on you starting now for a week.
You're welcome.
All 12 of these spices, Hunt Chef spices, all 12 for $100. Now, I don't believe that comes with free shipping.
No, I believe it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, if you throw in a bottle of Sniper, it'll be shipped for free.
No, I think it's free shipping.
Hunt Chef Spices. Brock's birthday blowout. A whole week. Starting today. The spices are amazing. You know everything on that website's amazing.
So I said to him, I was like, how are you making any money at this? He's like, I want everybody to try the spices because I know they'll buy them after they try them. Like,
sometimes you just got to get it in people's hands.
Yeah, right. I'm like, oh, okay.
How's everybody doing out there? Happy birthday, early birthday to Brock.
Oh, please. Would you stop?
Why?
I know why you do it.
Well,
it agitates me.
Well,
that's the only reason. That's the only reason she does it. That's it. That's it.
Or maybe I'm really happy it's your birthday.
No, it's because it bugs me.
I've got a lot of hair going a lot of different places today, guys. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm sorry, but anywho, what's going on? Let me tell you about this item from the wellness company. It's called Thera Blue. It is their pain reliever cream, and I want to tell you about it. You can get it right now using my name, Wendy, at twc.health, the wellness company, twc.health/Wendy. And, it's that stubborn ache. I have it. It's right by my shoulder blade. And it's a deep, in there. If you were to take your knuckle and drill it in my back, you'd have to really get through some real estate. Well, apparently this stuff is going to penetrate it. The pain that no ice, heat, or pain pills touch, hardly even touch. What if you could target it at the cellular level instead of just numbing it? That is exactly what Thera Blue was designed to do. This is the next generation pain-relieving peptide gel that works deeper than the skin's surface. It's powered by aqua molecular delivery technology. It delivers peptides and botanicals directly into your muscle tissue for legitimate lasting relief. Its hero ingredient is a copper peptide that promotes collagen synthesis. It reduces inflammation. It helps accelerate repair. I'm just like, I want the pain to go away yesterday. This restores cellular energy and it aids recovery. Methylene Blue also protects your mitochondria and supports endurance. It's got natural extracts, white willow bark, ginger, soothing inflammation, menthol, camphor, eucalyptus, delivering instant cooling relief. It absorbs fast. It leaves your skin refreshed, not greasy. Add a little layer, rub it in until it goes away, and bada bing, you'll say, I love me, that Wendy Bell. twc.health/Wendy. Use my name for an extra discount. You're welcome. How's everybody? I'm a little sassy today.
A little.
What?
One text, you dropped the F-bomb 3 times.
I got angry at certain things going on in the world. And so I boop.
Right.
Hey, you know what? You've got to have your safe place where you can get away with just being honest. Honest. That's what it's all about.
Okay. Does anyone ever give Christmas presents before Christmas?
So he got me something. I'm like, I don't want your dumb gift right now. I'm fussy. I'm not in the right frame of mind to respond to somebody's thoughtfulness. And so I said, I'm not going to open it. Let's wait. I really want you to open it. Please open it. I'm really excited for you to open it. Mister, I hate getting gifts. Never give me any
Hey,
gifts.
listen, I've always said I like to give.
Oh, that's fantastic. So
I
you
just
can
don't
rob
like to
everybody
get.
else of the joy and then crack a whip on your
I
timeline
wasn't cracking a whip.
about how we should open up said gifts and then gush all over you, right?
I was not looking for gushing.
Not at all.
I was not looking for gushing. I think it's something you'll appreciate. And and use.
A daughter?
And,
Sorry.
Wow. I can't help you with that.
No.
But
that ship has sailed, sadly.
and it bring you much peace.
Oh, it'll bring me peace.
Yes.
Okay. Well, when I'm of a more peaceful mind, I'll open the gift. Thank you. That was thoughtful of you to think of me. How about we get 4 today? Can we?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at me.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we are converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Are you in a frozen tundra like we are in southwestern land before time? Holy moly, it is officially winter. Delighted that you have joined us here on the Wendy Bell radio program. Look, it's not complicated, and today's program is going to be very similar to those you've heard in the past in that we will not lie to you. We will give you the facts. We'll give you the truth. We'll give you the most interesting sound bites of the day if anybody has anything interesting to say, and they did. And we're going to share that with you. And all of it is going to be at your fingertips. If you'd like the rundown, we've got all of it for you. Go to locals.com. Plug in Wendy Bell Radio, and boom, there is the entire itinerary of our 3 hours. Common sense, conservative values, and I think you're going to like it. So welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Yeah, that indivisible thing. Right? I don't know about that. I'm kind of on the fence about that. I'm delighted you guys are joining us today. I've got a little bit of ire, I could tell you, pumping through my veins. And I think we have a good conversation today about blaming the right people for the situation we cyclically find ourselves in. And look, by no means am I absolving the Republicans from the majority of the mess that America finds itself in today. Because whether or not you vote along with Democrats for crap policies that just always seem to be America last, or you're one of those Republicans who doesn't get in the way, who doesn't stand up, who doesn't push back, you're equally guilty. Let's talk about it. Democrats are blaming Donald Trump in particular. How one man is responsible for everything under the sun is so intriguing to me, as Joe Biden got a pass and spent 40% of his, octogenarian, geriatric, demented presidency on vacation, right? It's all Donald Trump's fault. Well, I'm going to ask you this question. Whenever have the Democrats done something that turned out well for you? When was the last time you heard a Democrat say something? It's usually pie in the sky, spending your money, yada, yada, where you're like, ooh, that has some real legs. I'm liking that. And then it got executed, and then you were pleased with your decision to vote along with it. Because I don't know when it was. It's generationally. I haven't thought of something recently. Let's think about things that the Democrats talk about that never ever amount to anything, but always cost us, whether it's financially or it's in restrictions of choice, limitations on our freedom. I mean, think about the climate, right? They've beaten that like the pinata it is. They've spent so much money. They've pushed ridiculous initiatives. Nothing's gotten better. And oh, by the way, the sun is still, out there, and we're going to be told forever that we're the ones cooking the earth. Okay. How about the military? Did they do anything good for the military? No. They watered down the requirements, right? We had recruitment at historic lows. They created this LGBT rainbow kumbaya in what is supposed to be the most lethal fighting force on planet Earth. Good job. And then they put Lloyd Austin, the ultimate drip of zero consequence, in to be in charge. Perfect. How about medicine? You guys think they've done a great job with medicine? Of course not. How about the border? Well, we don't even need to talk about that. Education, they've ruined that. The Postal Service, I mean, honest to God, you don't have to look very much further than that. Can anybody tell me in what world should it cost 78 cents a Christmas card to send pictures of your kids to friends and family around the country? I have no idea. What do you get for that? Super timely delivery? A really neat postal service in your neighborhood? Something that looks pristine? No, it sucks. How about healthcare? Don't get me started, right? I could go down the list. Crime, inflation, media. What do Democrats do? Right? They've owned the media. They pushed that fake news narrative that, by the way, President Trump is suggesting now is seditious, is treasonous, is no different than the video those 6 freaking congresspeople put out encouraging mutiny in the military. It's not that far of a stretch. How about what? Civil rights, transgender insanity, anything that has to do with vaccinations. They touch it, it turns to garbage. And it's so rich after the fact when the system bogs down to a grind, we all are looking at each other broke because none of the programs worked, because other people were stealing our money and then sending it back home to their home countries, which is super duper. I love that, right? Democrats then blame Donald Trump. It's his fault. The guy who's been in office for 11 months. The guy who inherited a 22% uptick in prices across the board from Joe Biden. That guy. It's his fault. It's interesting. We're long past the point where we need to stop blaming the firefighter and we need to start accusing the arsonist, because Democrats just get a pass from everything. I want you to hear this audio soundbite. I heard it moments before we went on the air. I asked Brock to snag it quickly. And it is a very frustrated Speaker Mike Johnson calling out basically what I just did, but in 40 seconds nails home the point you've heard on this program repeatedly. Listen.
This is why Democrats' newfound claims about affordability are just patently absurd. Okay, here are the facts, and you know this. Many of you don't write about it, but these are the facts. They're undisputed. They broke the economy, and now they want to lecture to the American people about affordability. They opened our borders, and now they want to lecture to the American people about immigration border enforcement. They broke the American healthcare system. They caused premiums to skyrocket. And now they have the audacity to tell Republicans that the only way to save it is to throw hundreds of billions of dollars to health insurance companies, which would merely fuel a system that is rife with fraud, waste, and abuse. You cannot be an arsonist and a firefighter at the same time. That's the message for the Democrats.
Oh, my goodness. Right? The firefighter arsonist. How many times have we talked about this? Stop blowing up our country and then coming in on the white horse pretending like you're the salvation. Because you're the one who didn't just set the kindling. You didn't just go out into the woods and you didn't just gather all the dry brush, right? You went into the garage and you grabbed the gallon of gas and you dumped it all over and you went with a flamethrower. And now you're like, wow, that seems like a big fire. I know how to put it out. Give us a break. Mr. President, if you are listening, and by all means you should be, Just do it. Okay? Just do it. Those of us, majority Americans, voted for you. The boats that you're destroying at sea, narco terrorists, blow them out of the water. The criminal, illegal aliens who are terrorizing our cities. And then you've got people like J.B. Pritzker blaming ICE for the terror and the fear. Deport every single one of them. Ilhan Omar, who broke the federal law by marrying her brother so he could come into this country and become what? Another Somalian moocher off of the kindness of the American people. Deport them all. And to the gentleman who decided to email me today and tell me the lovely story about his son who fell in love with a Japanese woman. And they're in Japan and they got married. And they have 2 beautiful children, and they would like nothing more than to come back to America. She would love to become an American citizen. What say you, Wendy? This man asked me. Do you think she should go through such a moratorium if they do close down the country to all immigration? And I said, brother, don't be blaming me. You go back and you blame all of the people who opened up the border, told you it wasn't a problem, told you it was under control. Think Alejandro Mayorkas, think Karine Jean-Pierre, think any of these idiots, Kamala Harris, who for a hot second anybody thought was a border czar. Don't you please finger wag me when I believe I speak for the majority of people when I say we're done and we want the president to just do it. Clean it up, flush them out, close it up, find the money, punish the offenders, get rid of those who've done us wrong, and let America heal. I, sir, am not your problem. And that your daughter-in-law can't come into this country without a long and laborious process. Blame all of the people who skipped the line and have been living here for years. A lot of them getting welfare every single month, every single year. I have had enough, Mr. President. Just freaking do it. I feel much better. Anybody else? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, affordability is quickly becoming a debunkable Democrat campaign talking point. Oh, you want affordability? Oh, yeah. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It is very cathartic, I will say, having a talk radio show.
I'm just going to sit here. I'm not saying anything.
Did that come out a little harsh?
Well, I think
I'm done.
You know,
I'm done.
I look at it this way for that gentleman. If your daughter-in-law really wants to become an American citizen, then she should be willing to go through the process.
But if there's a moratorium, then how long is that going to be delayed? However long it freaking takes, bro. I didn't open the border. Neither did Trump. Stop it. I know everybody has their own selfish, myopic view. And we are such a selfish, freaking people, aren't we? Aren't we?
I want it now. Give it to me now.
Please don't send me emails like that, because I don't want to have to send you the email back. Sent. All right. BodyByAim360.com. $499. Genetic testing. You don't have to go see a doctor. You don't have to give your blood. You literally click on a button, you order the test, it comes to your house, you take the swab, put it back in the thing, out it goes. 3 weeks later, you're like, say what? And then you schedule your conversation with Dr. Dubiak. And he goes over all 37 pages. Maybe not all, you'll have to do some, but a lot of them. And it'll tell you more about you and your future and your lineage and the genes that you've passed on to your children. I'm just starting to go through mine. All right. While I say that, and $400, $499. in the bigger picture is peanuts with what you get. It's a lot of money. However, $79 for new clients, new patients, bodybyAIM360.com getting just blood work done. And this is the biomarkers. These are the hormones. This is the process that gets your program to lose weight started. I mean, $79. He's never done that before. 412-227-9255. 412-227-9255. That's my story. Right? All right.
All I'm going to say, and this isn't to Wendy, this is to everyone else, you better rumble or she's going to get pissed.
Like this guy. Bugger you. 1.62?
I'm telling you, people.
Come
she's gonna take
on.
her
We
wrath
need
out
literally,
on
I
you.
need 400 rumbles. Can we please? It's a lot. I know it's a lot, but it's not when you consider that 5,600 are watching. It's that thumbs up button. It's super fun. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. See, what Democrats fail to understand is that we're tired of it. I'm pissed. You know, I don't want to come here every day and share the same story every day. I don't want to hear Elizabeth Warren worrying about the freaking economy or about medicine or the Affordable Care Act. Pal, you need to sit down and put a giant sock in your face. You have no legs to stand on. You are a cancer. Period. All of these people. Can you imagine if we could erase them all and start from scratch? And maybe you could start from scratch, I don't know, every 10 years, like the census. Let's go. New people in. And if you're good in Congress and you show it to the people, I don't know, become governor of your state. Do something. But coming out and lamenting like Bernie Sanders, right? Like Liz Warren, like any of these clowns, like Jamie Flippin Raskin, like Adam Schiff, shut your mouths. We've heard quite a bit from you. We don't believe you. We don't trust you. We didn't vote for you. And we have serious questions about who did and if they did. So this affordability thing, right? Donald Trump, in my lifetime, inherited the worst economy there has ever been. The worst inflation, the worst prices, the worst stall on things. Like, when in the world did we just normalize supply chain shortages? Well, because of COVID, things just, it's been complicated. No, see, no. I want my country back. It doesn't make me racist to say if you broke the law and you're from another country and you're here, get out. Oh, but he's such a good person. He raised a family here. He owns a business. See, remember when they told you that all of us had to get vaccinated? If one person doesn't, then everything goes haywire. Don't worry about all of those illegals crossing the border. They don't have to get vaccinated. But you do. It's for the greater good. You don't want to contaminate everybody because of your selfishness. Right? Affordability. Let's go. The new poll that I was telling you about earlier this week, and we hinted at it. It was on page 18, if I'm not mistaken. And it's basically blowing the affordability thing out of the water. Democrats want to be able to use the issue of the horrible fallout of Joe Biden, Barack Obama, the globalists, whomever was really behind the levers of all of the auto pen decisions, right? They want to blame that on Donald Trump, the same way they planted listening devices in the Oval Office, reportedly. The same reason why President Trump ordered a sweep of the Resolute desk, right? I don't need you to plant landmines and listening devices and try to fudge up our second administration. But see, Americans overwhelmingly, it's not just a plurality, it is a landslide in this poll, if you choose to believe it. Harvard-Harris. Who do you trust more on the economy? Like, who's the abject moron who's like, totally Democrats? I mean, everything they do works out. I love it. Nobody. I mean, honestly, if you were to extract all of the bogus bogosity in terms of fake votes, right? Fake ballots, Smartmatic switching of things, whatever ends up coming out, and President Trump says it's coming out. They've got the goods, they've got the details, they know all of it. And by the way, thanks to Tina Peters for that as she withers away in a prison somewhere for daring to see something and say something and do something and make a copy of a voting system before they could wipe it clean. And for that, they threw her in prison. They're scared. Damn right. They should be scared. And everybody who voted blindly because they didn't pay attention. Are you paying attention now? New polling puts Trump in landslide lead when it comes to the economy. And that is defying the Democrats' biggest midterm narrative. It is their ultimate wish list. Let's pin the results of 4 years of tragic, purposeful destruction of the American economy. Let's pin it squarely on the shoulders of President Trump, whose first item on the agenda after calling narco terrorists out and calling Venezuela Nicolas Maduro, the Cartel de los Sols, Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and all of these other criminal people groomed in prisons around the world and brought to America thanks to Joe Biden's auto pen. We're calling all of you out. We see what you are doing. We understand you are quite afraid. But this president is, on day number 1, started negotiating with other countries to bring money to America. Now, if it's taken a while for Joe Biden's real tragic net effect on your finances, on the economy, and on Generation Z's ideas of the American dream, i.e., it does not exist, and they want to pin it on President Trump, I shudder to think what will happen when those $17 trillion to $21 trillion start kicking out. When the tariffs start really generating the hundreds of billions of revenue. When the IRS is no longer a thing and it is replaced by the ERS. For instance, why should we internally pay for all of the fraud and the corruption and the deceit of the people before us? Other countries can pick up the slack. It's not working for the Democrats. And they know it. And they know it. Which is why some of the narratives have gotten particularly desperate. Donald Trump wants to can Kristi Noem. He hates Pete Hegseth. Well, Trump himself responded to these ridiculous allegations. And I think you should hear from the horse's mouth. What's really going on? What's really the focus? And why are they all so daggone scared? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Other than that, everything's going well. So I'm on pins and needles because Bobby and Chris find out about Clemson today.
Do they know what time?
No, and it's so weird. Like, I remember waiting I was at the University of Colorado applying to graduate school at Mizzou. And I remember waiting and sitting outside on the stoop of my apartment building, waiting for the mailman. And he came up, Walt. I'm like, Walt. And he's like, not today, Wendy. And I'm like, damn it. Walt. And he's like, not today, Wendy. And finally, Walt.
He was looking for it.
Right? And then, of course, Bobby and Chris are like, your decision will come out in precisely blankety blank time. I'm like, that is so unfair. You guys should have to spin a little bit. I'm sweating over it.
I was just going to say, you really want them to sweat over it? You're sweating over it.
So I have to see if Healthy Cell has this on their website yet, because I might not. I got their new product and I'm super excited about it. But, oh, good. It's not on there yet. Okay. Literally, I have been given before any, it's not even on there. I'm just going to tell you what it says, okay? Because I don't want to share too much. Key micronutrients, including vitamin D3. So small. Vitamin D, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, calcium, and magnesium for blank. It's something that a lot of women are going to want. And I'll be able to tell you all about it here when they give me the thumbs up, literally sitting right here. So why do you need Healthy Cell in your life? Maybe you got some blood work back and it tells you you do not have vitamin B in your system. You are deficient with zinc, magnesium, calcium, D, all of this stuff. And you're like, oh my God, I have to take 1,000 pills now. Well, the problem with that is over 50, your stomach acid has more difficulty digesting pills and capsules and tablets. So Healthy Cell, knowing that, started making their supplements and putting them in little microgel packs. So you literally tear off the top, slurp it into your mouth, bada bing, it's in your system and it's more absorbed than other mechanisms of delivery, pills and whatnot. So that's the deal. That's what they do. They have very specific formulas. I love them. I've got REM sleep. I've got focus and recall. And next to me, I have the heart and vascular health one, joint health and mobility. I have calm mood. And then I've got the immune super boost. If there's somebody in your life who you are worried about with cold and flu season, this immune super boost formula is just what the doctor ordered, right? And it's a delicious flavor. Blackberry. It's not like taking something where you're like, oh my God. Bleh. That's not it. The stuff is good. Healthycell.com/Wendy. 20% off your first order, I think. 20%. And I will be very excited when I'm given the green light to tell you about the new formula because I know I need to take it personally. And don't forget, they have what's called the Discovery Kit, and it's this little bag and somewhere over there that's got like one of everything. And you can grab that and try it and see if you like it. Healthycell.com/Wendy. I love them, and I'm super geeked about this new one, if you couldn't tell. I'm a little sweaty right now. I got to tell you, I got my blood pressure up. I got my heart pounding, blood flowing, juices happening. Let's go. Who's ready? Brock's like, did we get 2? Yes, we just got 2. 2.22. All right, this is the push. Do we have 220 people who can click the thumbs up button under the video box right now? Before we come back, we've got about 2 minutes. This is the big push. See, if I beat you now, then I don't have to do it later. I'll gladly pay you Thursday or Tuesday for a hamburger today. So like literally all day, I'm going to be like checking my phone. Did they get anything? Did they get anything? Did they hear anything? I found out Bobby got into a school yesterday I didn't even know he applied to. I was like, thanks for keeping your mom in the loop. And then I think Ryan was like, I didn't know he applied there. Okay. And he got a scholarship.
Well, can't complain too much.
I know, right? I'm like, okay, good job, buddy. I don't know if you want to go to school there, but okay. We'll see. Anywho, we have Chef IQ today. I have a cute CB Distillery testimonial to read to you guys. It is really terrific, and I'm so grateful. I love your testimonials. Remember, we need 100 people. Oh my gosh, you're so close. 100 people. Click that thumbs up button. WendyBellRadio@gmail.com. I mean, good, bad, or ugly. Tell me what you think about our sponsors. Share with me a story. What's your experience? I want to know. 24 hours, Brock. Not even. 15 hours away. Tick, tock. 50. Yeah, he's got an AMAC on speed dial. flashing back to the Biden administration and his transportation secretary. You remember who that was, right? Pete Buttigieg. I'm going to ask you a serious question. Tell me what you remember Pete Buttigieg doing in the 4 years that he was Secretary of Transportation that you remember, that was of any benefit, that was a reasonable response to a problem, that made you say, now that right there, that is a good hire. I like that guy. Because I got nothing. I know for a fact that there were, 15,000 near misses before that fatal helicopter plane collision. Everybody died. Last year, was it last year? Right? 15,000 near misses. Just at one airport, Reagan. Right? I remember that. I remember the Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, and because that was a great idea. It wasn't his idea, but he didn't show up on the scene. Remember that? He didn't show up until Donald Trump shamed him. As private citizen, Donald Trump brought in all of the pallets of Trump water as the ultimate show of, I see you. Did your government under Joe Biden even give you drinkable water? No. I don't know what he did. I know he had to take 8 weeks off because he and his husband, I guess, adopted twins or something like this, had a baby, right? And he needed time. Really? Really? So now we have Sean Duffy. And do you notice this about this president and his administration? First of all, everybody is trim. They are neat. They are impeccably dressed. They are well-spoken. They are outgoing. They are determined. They are respectful. And they are communicative. I mean, it's crazy. You're like, what the hell country am I in? This is so weird. But Sean Duffy was like, look, we've got all of these illegal aliens. And we know 17,000 illegal commercial driver's licenses were given out by Gavin Newsom in California alone. And they're not even testing these people to see if they understand. Forget the rules of the road. I mean, forget like the levers and all of the components that go with a tractor trailer. Do you even know a word of English? No. Well, that's one. Sean Duffy was like, look, we need to crack this stuff down. We need to stop doing this. We need to know who you're giving your licenses out to. We need to prove that you're taking this test in English. We're changing the rules. So if all these people came in on the southern border under Joe Biden's auto pen, and now, well, there's a huge rush on driving tractor trailers, which makes you go, what are they transporting? Why so many illegals, right? And then all of these hideous accidents where they do, U-turns on a turnpike, killing people, right? Sean Duffy was like, you are not giving the commercial driver's license test in English. And we know this. Hey, Washington. Hey, New Mexico. Hey, California. What are you doing? I want you to hear this news alert from Fox. This announcement from the Secretary of Transportation. Let's listen.
And breaking news right now, the Department of Transportation announcing formal action against 3 states for failing to enforce federal English language proficiency requirements for commercial motor vehicle drivers. Listen here.
We've identified several states that have not been in compliance. That would be Washington, California, and New Mexico. Those are the three states that have not complied with this rule. We are going to give these states 30 days to come into compliance with truck drivers speaking proficiently the English language, or we're going to look at federal funding.
Okay, so the reason this is important, Bill, you were with me yesterday when we were talking to the state of Florida because they have just started to require these English language proficiency tests at weigh stations for commercial truck drivers. This after the Indian driver who didn't speak any English killed 3 people in April.
And you were curious kind of how those English tests test work. I think he said it's 16 different questions, also involving road signs. But yeah, Florida bringing the hammer down. You just heard Sean Duffy say there, if you don't get up to par with this, we're gonna start removing some of your federal funding. And they announced yesterday they're turning all of their way stations and agriculture checkpoints into federal immigration enforcement. So any of these like illegal immigrant drivers who are out there with IDs from different states, there's a lot of way stations in the state of Florida, and they might start getting caught up soon.
So Sean Duffy just announcing that, and we'll see, no doubt there'll be more. And I don't know if he will be at the cabinet meeting. That's happening at 11. So this could be a question that the president gets there as well.
And a cabinet meeting where the individual cabinet heads are able to give you a 3 to 5 minute synopsis about what they're doing. Did you ever hear Pete Buttigieg do that? No. Did you ever hear Joe Biden do that? No, he didn't hold cabinet meetings. At the end, Jill and Hunter did. But it's Donald Trump who's slowing down a little bit. He's not looking so good. I'm worried about him. 25th Amendment. But it took the debate for Jake Tapper to buy my book. We've been following his decline for a long time. Okay, Jake. Did you guys know that as Florida is cleaning up its commercial driver's license requirements and ensuring that, I don't know, people can freaking speak our language? In California, you got some options. I found this very intriguing. The DMV for Class C non-commercial driver's licenses, it offers the online knowledge test in 35 languages. 35! Something I don't even know. What's this word? Amharic. Well, what's that? Arabic, French, German, Greek, Hindi, Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, Spanish, and Vietnamese, and 28 others. And in order to take the test in a language other than English, you've got to do it online. I'm sure that's all moderated and monitored well, right? Okay, so now I want to go on to this. Thank you, Sean Duffy. Thank you, and California, New Mexico, and Washington State. Good luck losing your federal Department of Transportation dollars because you failed to do what this administration has asked you to do. See, it's funny, isn't it? They want to hold a gun to your head when they're in charge. What they say goes. There is no dissent. There is no conversation. And if you do, you're censored, you're doxxed, you're kicked off of social media, you're deplatformed, demonetized, and called a liar, right? They just say, yeah, I don't think so. Bill and Hillary Clinton, we need you to come in and testify about your relationships with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Why does that happen? Why is that allowed? Why can Hillary smash a phone with a hammer and get away with it? How can Joe Biden make $30 million that we know of with his crime family syndicate and freaking get away with it? And how is it that so many people in the Clinton ripple effect die? Don't talk about that. Shh. Interesting. MS Now, MSNBC of SOC, is peddling an anonymous story these days, guys, that is interesting. They're saying that President Trump is super frustrated with his cabinet. He's had it, people. I'm going to read you what they said. Trump weighing Noam's ouster at Homeland Security. Ooh, this sounds serious. White House officials have grown frustrated with Kristi Noem's leadership of the Department of Homeland Security, leading to calls for a new secretary to more aggressively support key parts of the president's deportation agenda, comma, what part comes now? You ready? Two sources familiar with the situation told MS Now. Got it. Whenever you hear that, you know you are being propagandized. And here's the president at yesterday's cabinet meeting, if you will, debunking everything that MS Now anonymously reported.
I think my cabinet's fantastic. I read the same stories that I'm unhappy with this one or that one, and I'm not. I think the cabinet's done a great job. I read a story that I was unhappy with Pete because he was attacking drug dealers. I said, that's not exactly right. I would say very much the opposite. Pete Hegseth has been phenomenal. I read a story recently. I'm unhappy with Kristi. I'm so happy with it. I mean, we have a closed border. We have a border that's the best border in the history of our country. Why would I be unhappy? She's fantastic, actually. No, we have a fantastic cabinet, really fantastic cabinet. I mean, Lutnick I'll have to think about. No, can't have everything. Can't have everything. He's doing great. Well, Howard's done really well, and Scott's done really well. We have just a fantastic cabinet.
We have a fantastic cabinet, and RFK Jr. as well is doing some big things, which is why a House Democrat has now filed impeachment articles against him for quote unquote turning his back on science. See, I don't even have to give you the details of this story. When knives are out, it's because change is happening. It means grifts are being called out. It means the things that have hurt us and cost us in more ways than just monetarily are getting called out. I want you to hear Jake Tapper on Trump's pushback against fake news stories. Listen.
After all of the work I have done with medical exams, cognitive exams, and everything else, I actually believe it's seditious, perhaps even treasonous, for the New York Times and others to consistently do fake reports in order to libel and demean the President of the United States. They are true enemies of the people, and we should do something about it. I don't know exactly what he thinks should be done about it, and that's just part of the Truth Social post. We should note, reporting accurately on the President's quite obvious aging is neither seditious nor treasonous.
Well, it is somewhat selective there, Jaco, considering you were mum until it was time to peddle your stupid book, which you did ad nauseum on CNN, morning, freaking noon, and night, talking about how, oh my gosh, we're just as shocked as you are to see Joe Biden and to hear his horrible debate performance. I mean, that was wild. Remember, we were the ones who were telling you he was seasoned, he was fit, he was wonderful. Karine Jean-Pierre, oh, really? Dawn Lemming, you're going to ask me about Joe Biden's cognition? The man runs circles around me. Liars, every single one of them. How is what the media says, fake news-wise, any less seditious in encouraging basic revolution against this government than 6 former members of the military who are now members of Congress encouraging active duty military to resist this administration's orders? How is that possible? That, ladies and gentlemen, is one of those nagging questions that floats in my mind. It's curious, isn't it? Oh, Jake. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, for all of you who have considered marrying your brother, I know, full stop, right? Where's she going with this? Apparently, Tom Homan has some words about Ilhan Omar. Apparently, they aren't just going to let her get away with it. Oh, bring it, baby. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right. I want to bring this to your attention. Where did she go? Why do I do this? I do this every time. Crap. Does this ever happen to you when you... Oh, here we go. This is from Dawn. She said, hey, Wendy, I appreciate your sponsor, CB Distillery, more than I have ever could imagined. I've always been a light sleeper who wakes up several times a night, about every 2 hours. I don't ever really get deep, restful sleep, and regardless, I rarely wake up later than 6:30 and start my day. I've seen a few doctors over the years, and basically was told that, you know what, it's nothing really wrong, and other people have it well worse than you. So at 54, I've decided to try CBD. I bought a month's supply of gummies from a local company, and they helped, but I felt they were a bit pricey if I planned to buy monthly. So I compared price and ingredients, and I signed up for a monthly subscription with CB Distillery, and I now know what it's like to sleep. Truly, it's everything you've said. I wake up to use the bathroom, and I fall back to a deep sleep. I typically wake up one more time and then fall back again into a deep sleep. And I still wake up at my usual time without feeling drugged. I stay up later at night as well. I decided to write you this because now I'm waiting for my order, and without it, I'm back to my old sleep patterns. CBDistillery.com. This is the time to get something wonderful from there. Let me get you the right ad read for you here, because I believe, let's see what they're doing again. They've got the 25% off. Did you already put it up on the screen and I've been talking too much?
No.
CBDistillery.com. Better sleep for pain relief after workout pain. Holiday calm. All these things CBD products can do. CB Distillery is the product I trust. If you go to CB Distillery and you enter the promo code RUMBLE, you will get that 25% off. So I hope you do. And Dawn, I hope it works for you forever because I love the company and I love their products. Thank you for that. All right, 244. I don't know what face I'm making. I'm really hopeful. I'm really hopeful for 277. Right? Magic 8 Ball. Oh, I have to use my Magic 8 Ball on Newsmax today for my show. Magic 8 Ball. Are we going to get to 277 before the end of this break? Let's see. My sources say no. Well,
can we just say silver? Because tomorrow will be a year at $33.
yes, we got you a silver bar.
Yeah. It is now at $62.61. It has almost doubled in a year. That's nuts. Nuts.
WendyLovesGold.com. Wendy Loves Gold. That's our company. That's our company. Get your silver. Get it. It makes so much sense. And they protect you. We'll talk about it on the flip side, but I love WendyLovesGold.com. I don't think we have time, right?
48 seconds.
Look, no other company is going to protect your investment. Their principal protection program guarantees you will never lose money buying from them. What company can say that to you? Honest to God, what company can say that to you? 855-927-5557. 855-927-5557. WendyLovesGold.com. Talk to them. You will love them. They are wonderful, and they want to help you. Honestly, he's right. Silver has almost doubled in price in a year.
That's not why I told you. I just saw it.
No, I have other people.
Wow.
I'm getting pinged by other people too. Alan often sends me stuff. How to settle me down, a little Michael. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So you know what? I've never considered marrying my sibling. I have an older sister. We've never talked about it, right? It's not something we do, but it is something that Ilhan Omar did. It's not a rumor. It's not just some scurrilous lie. This isn't something off of, some weird blog post. There is documentation. And in fact, at the end of today's program, we're going to get into a great amount of detail about the details of the proof of Ilhan Omar marrying her brother, right? So it's interesting. Tom Homan, he's been peppered by quite a few people. And they're like, look, is anybody going to look at Ilhan Omar? We got this border issue. You got all these Somalians here. You got 80,000. You've got a vast majority. We're going to drop a number on you coming up. The percentage of the Somalian population that's coming to America that is now on welfare blows your mind. And don't tell us we're not paying for it, please. Tom Homan confirms the feds are, in fact, investigating the congresswoman from Minnesota. Let's find out. Homan confirms DHS investigating whether Ilhan Omar came to the U.S. illegally by marrying her brother. JustTheNews.com. Trump administration border czar Tom Homan said that the Department of Homeland Security is, in fact, investigating this. Trump and his allies have claimed Omar's first husband, Ahmed Elmi, is actually her brother, whom she married for immigration purposes in 2009. The couple divorced in 2017, and no DNA evidence has supported the claim that they are brother and sister. However, There is quite a bit of documentation. Homan telling Newsmax that he was investigating whether Omar committed immigration fraud and is thereby in the country illegally. She first came to the United States with her family in 1990, blah, 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 blah. We're pulling the records. We're pulling the files. We are looking at it. I am running that down, in fact, this week. Well, don't take my word for it. Here is Tom Homan speaking with Rob Schmidt on Newsmax.
The border czar, Tom Homan, joins us tonight to talk about Minnesota as well as a number of other issues. And, sir, it's good to have you back on the show. Trump mentioning the Daily Mail reporting from 2020 that Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into the country. This was last week. Take a listen.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud.
Calls that a fraud. It's a story that has never been successfully refuted, even though it's now a 5-year-old story. That's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file and says, there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitations became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at, but this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
I am running that down this week, and we will see. Did you ever hear border czar Kamala Harris say anything that was of any value? I just had to rethink my comment to you there. And then he continues. He's like, wait a minute. What about all this visa fraud? We heard from Kristi Noem that like 50% of all the visas are fraudulent. Like, is anybody going to get booted for this? Listen.
It's tremendous that, I mean, and according to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this community. I mean, that would mean that half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally. What's going to happen? Is something actually going to happen? Are there going to be people stripped of their visas, deported? Are we going to see that?
Absolutely. I mean, those days are over. Thank God President Trump's in the White House. We're going to look at all of them. I mean, we're going to look at those here illegally, of course. We're going to look at those here under a visa or some sort of, immigration process that are criminals. We're going to look at the national security threats.
Now, I have to ask you, if you find out that the people who are here in your neighborhood, people perhaps who you know, who are the parents perhaps of children in your kids' classes, and if they broke the law and they fudged the system to be here, what do you think about them? Should they get to stay because, well, they've really turned out well? Or do you have to have laws? Your answer might be different than mine. When we come back, cutting off the head of terrorism. You got to first choke off its funding, and it's game on. The move in the Caribbean. Oh, my. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. This is it. That's it. Nitric oxide, healthy blood flow and circulation. Now you look at that. I mean, honestly, if you walked by this in the store, Blood Flow 7 by Juvenon, and you're like, huh, what's that? Healthy blood flow and circulation. So, how do you know? Somebody said, oh, it's a 260% more blood flowing through your body. And you're like, how do you know? That's like so not provable. Oh, it's provable. Take it for 3 days and then talk to me. Literally 3 days. All of a sudden, you feel nonstop, unstoppable, ferocious, strong. You have endurance. Like, I noticed it even doing stupid stuff in the yard. I'm like raking leaves. Ugh. And I'm doing like 10 bags in the backyard. And it's a lot. It's up and down and squat and yada, yada. And I was the Energizer Bunny. Normally after like 4 or 5, I'm like, woo, I should probably go drink a beer. But now I'm like, let's get it done. And I power through it. And I'm not like afterwards. And then I'm telling you what, if for no other reason, if you have no need to have more stamina and more strength, more endurance, you don't care to feel any better. You're like, man, I feel great. Just take it because you're going to sleep like a boulder. You'll sleep like a boulder. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. He's on the Alpha Gold Male. This is specifically formulated for men. This is completely about your testosterone. It is entirely about your cortisol. It's entirely about getting rid of crap you don't want, giving you what you do. It is about endurance. It is about sexual performance. It is about your men's wellness. For you, Alpha Gold Male. I'm getting it for my children. Literally, and I'm going to be handing it to them like this. Right? Not like, here, try this. But you're welcome. Mom loves you. I cannot wait because I know Michael has a hard time sleeping and I know Ryan has a hard time sleeping. Hard time like shutting off your brain. Lights out, sleep like a boulder. What's bigger than a boulder? I don't know what is. Alpha Gold Male. And go down to go get the page at bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Get the two, get the Bloodflow 7 and the Alpha Gold, right? It's a package bundle. It's cheap. That's not cheap. I mean, it's totally affordable. And there's a discount. Okay. You're welcome. I love you too. All right, let's talk. What's going on out there, Brock? 7,600 people. That's a nice audience. I mean, duh, but still. I'm particularly punchy today. I woke up fussy and it has to go through a process and it ultimately oozes out of me in various ways. Anyway. Brock, how are you feeling? Are you feeling 49? Are you feeling trepidatious about walking into the world of the Big 5-0 tomorrow?
No.
Are you buying yourself a gift?
No.
You're not expecting me to buy you anything, are you?
No.
Good.
I tell my wife not to get me anything. This isn't Rose, Brock.
Wait. Says the man who enjoys giving gifts to others tells others not to give gifts to him. Got it.
I'm the person when I see something that I think someone will enjoy, I don't need a day, or necessarily a reason.
277, guys, you're so close. We got 3 minutes to go. Let's rock those rumbles. That's the thumbs up button underneath the video box. And then hit the follow button next to it. Our goal is 100,000. And we're trying to do it by next April.
I always thought mothers should be celebrated for your birthday. Because, you didn't do anything.
None of us did
it all.
Right?
I mean.
I should be, yes. How about my father-in-law, who's one of 14? Can you imagine that? And his mom was like,
I should have got a TV.
72 pounds, soaking wet. Unbelievable. They should have gotten a TV.
Or a hobby.
It was a good Irish Catholic family.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Right? Love the Irish Catholic families. Hence
I'd
my
love
last
to
name.
say why it's not a big deal to me, but I don't want people to feel bad. I'll say it anyways. My father didn't even know when my birthday was. So it was never a big deal.
No, that's not true. It wasn't a big deal after your mother died.
Well, no, I mean, it's just not a big deal. It really isn't.
I'm sure your mom made it a bigger deal when she was alive and able to do that, right? I'm sure you felt it was your birthday, right?
Probably.
Yeah, but the memory of your father not being particularly connected can certainly sour the memories of it. I get it. What?
No,
I don't know. It's all psychoanalysis. Let's go, guys. Who wants to psychoanalyze Brock?
No, let's not.
Let's
say
go.
We did.
Yes, absolutely. I think that'll make it fun.
I'm getting on the show.
Number one, that he is textbook, right? Number two, maybe needs to lie on the couch for a little therapy. Brockney Dangerfield.
See, that's the thing. It's not a pity thing. It's.
Oh, I didn't take that from that comment.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Yon Wayne. What's going on, Codger? Hey, Sandy, Eyes, and Godspeed Trump. What's up, Front Porch? Mr. Coffee. Hi, Tiedman. What's going on, babe?
I need to order some today.
Hey, you dude. How are you, Bear? Hi, Freebird. It's great to see you guys. Hi, Laura. Hi, Razorback. Hi, Glow. Hi, Demanda JR100. Hi. I love seeing you. Thank you for being here. You make life fun. I'm very grateful.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live, and it is a delight to be with you. Very interesting to pay attention to what President Trump says off the cuff. I mean, everything he says is pretty much off the cuff. As he said in that sit-down interview with Politico's Dasha Burns, Maduro's days are numbered. Something obviously bigger than what you and I are aware of is going on. It's been in the works for a good long time. And new developments, Trump says the United States has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. This is very interesting. This is amid mounting tensions with the government of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. It is the Trump administration's latest push to increase pressure on Maduro, who has been charged with narco-terrorism in the United States. The U.S. has conducted a series, as you know, of those lethal kinetic strikes in the Caribbean Sea and the Eastern Pacific on boats that the administration has alleged are carrying drugs. And this is what the president said. We've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela. A large tanker, very large, largest one ever seized, actually. And he said, quote, other things are happening. But he did not offer additional details, saying he would speak more about it later. So the seizure was carried out by the Coast Guard, and it was supported by the Navy, according to the U.S. official, who was not authorized to comment on it, but did. The official added that the seizure was conducted under U.S. law enforcement authority. Venezuela, with the world's largest proven oil reserves, and produces about 1 million barrels a day, but they have been struggling. They have been struggling after the U.S. banned purchases of Venezuelan crude and tightened financial restrictions from about 2019 onward. Venezuela's oil production has fallen by about 60% in the following 2 years. Now it's down to like 99%. They can't get rid of their stuff. They can't make money. The drugs are being blown up before they get to our shores. What do you do when you want to take out someone that you believe is bad for your hemisphere? Not just for a country, but bad for a hemisphere. Well, you could go in and you could wage war and you could get troops on the ground and you could have casualties and all of this. Or you could just cut off their funding. And isn't that effective? Isn't that amazing? In order to get Maduro out, because there are so many questions about him and his presidency and the elections and all of the terror campaigns and the people who've been scooped off the street and people who have died and all of the people in the Cartel de los Sols that he is, according to President Trump, the head of. What a legendary way to stop it. We're going to seize a tanker that's illegally transporting oil to other parts of the world. You're not supposed to do that. And you can't make money off of that. And you're not going to make money off of your drugs. And you're not going to make money off of human trafficking. And we're well aware of your Tren de Aragua goons who were groomed in your horrendous prisons and then came into our country to terrorize us and to be basically the foot soldiers of Maduro and to be communicating, we understand, with corrupt members of Congress. Sanctions sometimes don't always work. So this is what is going on. And now the Trump administration has released a video of the capture. In fact, I saw it. You'll see it on X. Gateway Pundit has a really great article. It says Trump administration releases video of the U.S. seizing Venezuelan oil tanker. What is Venezuela going to do? The Trump administration Wednesday released footage of the U.S. seizing a Venezuelan oil tanker. It's called Skipper. It's the name of this vessel. It was reported by Bloomberg early yesterday that the Coast Guard, with help from the Navy, seized it off of the coast of Venezuela. And Trump confirming the report, boasting about the seizure. It was seized for a very good reason, Trump added. The Trump administration also released unclassified footage of the operation, saying today, this is Pam Bondi, today the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Homeland Security Investigations, and the United States Coast Guard, with support from the Department of War, executed a seizure warrant for a crude oil tanker used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela and Iran, said Pam Bondi. For multiple years, the oil tanker has been sanctioned by the United States due to its involvement in an illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations, Bondi said. The seizure, completed off the coast of Venezuela, was conducted safely and securely. And our investigation, alongside the Department of Homeland Security, to prevent the transport of sanctioned oil continues. The unclassified video, it's badass, shows U.S. service members deploying from a helicopter and fast roping onto the oil tanker. Where was the last time we saw that? Oh, in Chicago. Remember that? Remember that as the helicopter came in and they came down, fast roping down onto the rooftop? As Democrats clutch their pearls, what's going on? These people are being threatened by President Trump. Kids are getting zip-tied, separated from their parents. It's just awful. And then you're like, oh, that's right. That is a Tren de Aragua Control Department complex where these gangbangers, right, are basically holding the tenants hostage. Now, we're not going to report on that. Just the optics of people coming down and like roping down. And it seems so military. It is. It is. It most assuredly is. Today, the FBI and our partners executed a seizure warrant for a crude oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela to Iran, Kash Patel said. Well, you know what? It's interesting. What he's doing, President Trump, to narco-terrorists is not a drug war. It is a financial war. Yes, we want the drugs to stop. But the greatest way for that to happen and to destroy terrorist organizations, you cut the flow of dough. I want you to hear Stephen Eugene Kuhn. I really don't know who this guy really is. I listened to what he said, though, and it's fascinating. He says he's a global business strategist. And he says for the first time in over a century, the globalists are on defense. Listen.
I talked about Venezuela the other day, and a lot of people came at me saying, hey, don't you realize this is about drugs, fentanyl, and cartels? Well, that's not the whole story, guys. That's what they want you to believe. People think Trump's down there to stop drugs from coming into America. That's part of it, but that's not the mission. Drugs are the smallest part of the operation. This isn't about fentanyl, cocaine, or heroin. This is about money, drug money. It doesn't just move through the cartels. It moves through private banks, family offices, offshore structures, investment vehicles. It props up commercial banks. It backstops liquidity. It keeps the entire globalist financial system breathing when it should have collapsed a long time ago. From the US to Europe to the Far East, trillions of dollars. That's the real infrastructure. And that is what Trump is targeting. That's why he isn't really targeting governments. He's targeting funding arteries. And that terrifies the globalists more than anything on earth. Because banker-run economies don't survive on real production. They survive on invisible money flows. And Trump is forcing a shift back to reality. Real goods, real sovereignty, real borders, and real industry. That leaves the financial parasites behind. And they know it. And that's why they're desperate to keep war burning elsewhere. That's why Europe stays on fire. That's why Ukraine never ends. And that's why they scream about everything except what's happening on our own hemisphere. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The moment the U.S. military starts destroying narco-terrorists at home, the money trail lights up. One boat gets intercepted and suddenly the phones explode. Encrypted calls fly. Signals light up. You got messages getting sent. And our intelligence apparatus maps the entire spider web of connection. Who's paying who? Which banks are involved? Which family offices are involved? Which offshore jurisdictions? And which countries and which politicians are compromised? That's the real panic. That's why you're seeing coordinated attacks on Trump's people. That's why they're going after Pete Hegseth. That's why South American power brokers are screaming behind closed doors, calling their globalist handlers, demanding this be shut down because the money was flowing and now it isn't. Trump isn't just stopping drugs. He's choking the giants that fund the global system. And here's the truth. A massive portion of the world's legitimate financial system is soaked in narco money. And it has been for some time, which is why there never really was a war on drugs. And that's why thousands are dying from fentanyl, pointlessly for globalist greed. It could have been stopped, but our intelligence agencies protected those flows for decades because that money keeps their machine running too. Trump is disrupting that machine also. And when you attack the money, the system, not the headlines, not the ideology, and not the puppets, and the entire structure starts to shake and panic. That's what you're watching right now. Not a drug war, not foreign policy theater, a financial war. And for the first time in over a century, the globalists are on defense.
I thought that was a phenomenal description of what's going on. Venezuela was once the largest economic power in Latin America, and now it's virtually bankrupt. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's talk about this. How much are we paying for all these African migrants, right? Did you know that 8 in 10 Somali households just in Minnesota are on some kind of public assistance? That means you're paying for it. Don't tell me these costs aren't crippling. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I want to tell you guys about Dr. Gundry. I'm just doing a quick search here. So I just checked, and we talk about Dr. Gundry and his great weight loss, having just a scoop of this in water a day. It's a meal supplement by him, and it sells by the website thehealthyfat.com/Wendy, which is kind of confusing because you're like, why is it called MCT Wellness then? So MCT stands for medium chain triglycerides. It's a type of fat derived primarily from coconut or palm kernel oil consisting of fatty acids, blah, blah, blah. MCT oil serves as a neutral, stable carrier for flavors, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, blah, 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 blah. So MCT Wellness is what Dr. Gundry is focused on. And he calls it the healthy fat because he says if you drink this, and it is a meal substitute, you can have it in lieu of lunch, maybe in lieu of breakfast. It's delicious. I love it. I drink it every day. This allows your body to ditch calories that it instinctively holds onto as a kind of protective mechanism. And that is the magic of the MCT wellness. Get rid of the bad, allow your body to shed that stuff. You're not eating so much because it satisfies you and kills your hunger, and you're not taking shots. Okay? Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. I love it. Again, I'll prove it. Getting down to the wire here on my blueberry. Blueberry is the best. MCT Wellness by going to thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Drink it. Lose vast amounts of weight slowly. You're in charge. I like that. That's nice. All right. Very interesting to see what's going on. I find it very interesting, too, that there's some push to impeach RFK Jr. So there's obviously stuff that's coming out. They're not going to be pleased about it. I think all of the great mysteries that you and I know are not at all mysterious, including all of the deets about 2020. It's coming. It's coming. I sure hope so.
You know, when they do this stuff, they're trying to get ahead of it just to temper it down.
That's why today's title is Just Do It. Just do it. Just drop it. Release it. Let us have it. Where's all the Epstein stuff? Weren't we supposed to be getting all sorts of Epstein stuff? Why is nobody talking about that?
Did you see, I didn't send you the picture of Marjorie Taylor Greene taking a picture with Code Pink.
Oh, they're as corrupt as stones.
And watching her take a picture with someone wearing one of the Hamas scarves. It's like, what? There's a lot of shenanigans going on right now.
Yes. A lot of people are scurrying.
Mama Bear G4 just ordered my spices. You're going to love them.
Yeah.
You're going to love them.
I'm telling you, if you haven't had spices in a while, disinfectwithsniper.com. Get the Hunt Chef spices. They're not overly salty. You know how sometimes it's like, holy cow, like distorts the flavor of your food? They're flavorful. Like they make the flavor of the meat come out. And if I could just eat one thing, it would always be meat. Meat.
Steak.
Just give it to me. Yeah. Very angrily, at least that's how I read his email, was very angry at me for basically supporting deporting people who are here illegally. Like, where do you have the cutoff? When is it okay? In what circumstance is it okay? This is like having children who play sports, right? So every application for, let's just say, Little League or soccer or football or what have you, there's a firm cutoff, right? And a cutoff is thus and such date. So your kid his birthday is a week after that date. But wait a minute, all of his friends are in that group, and he's not allowed to play in that group now, even though, well, where do you fudge it? If you say, okay, well, we'll let Billy play. Well, my birthday was 9 days after the cutoff. I want to be a part of that. Okay, we'll let you. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, geez, just let it be a free-for-all. At some point, you do have to have rules. And you do have to follow rules. And the rule in our country is, to me, that if you are receiving benefits that the American people pay for, you should be an American. If you're a foreigner and you're coming to this country, why are we letting you in to then feed you, clothe you, pay for you to have, a house? Why would we do that? Because I'd love somebody to do that with my children. Why not? I'm sure my son Michael, who lives in Florida, would love some handouts, would love a cut on his rent, or heck, maybe a free place at the Roosevelt. Why not? Well, when I say this in this story, you'll understand my ire. Headline from Breitbart. Minnesota, nearly every Somali household with children is on welfare. What? So we're told that it's our responsibility to be good people. They're fleeing persecution. They're fleeing danger. Hurry, open up your doors. There's nobody closer to Somalia than the United States who can accept these people. There's nobody culturally in that area of the planet that's more able to culturally and just location-wise accept these people. They have to come to America. Really? And then they have to come to America, and then you have to pay for it. Well, you just can't expect them to sleep on the streets. Well, wait a minute, I didn't invite them here. So why am I hosting a dinner party now and having everybody stay at my house? I didn't approve that. Well, you're a bad person then. Okay, suck it. See, that is the point where we need to be. I don't care what you think I am. I don't care if you think I'm a horrible person because I say deport people. Because where's the cutoff? You have to be able to say wrong is wrong. And your sob story of why you came here is not my responsibility to fix. And I'm not a racist or a nationalist or a hater if I say that. More than 8 in 10 households headed by Somali refugees in the state of Minnesota are on one or more forms of American taxpayer-funded welfare. New data published by the Center for Immigration Studies reveals. The data, based on 10 years of data from the Census Bureau's American Community Survey, shows drastic disparities between native-born American households and Somali-born households in Minnesota, where nearly 80,000 residents have Somali ancestry compared to 0 who had Somali ancestry in 1990. Oh my, really? Great replacement theory. In particular, the data shows that 81% of Minnesota households headed by Somali refugees are on one or more forms of welfare, including 27% who are on cash welfare. Who out there would love to have an EBT card? Right? You know what, kids? Let's have steak. Let me get the government card. Let's go buy some. 27% get cash, 54% get food stamps, and 73% are on Medicaid. So wait a minute, the people I thought we weren't paying for don't get our benefits, right? I mean, is that why we have 21 states, Democrat states, refusing to give over their SNAP data? You think? Of course, duh. Compare that massive welfare use to native-born Americans residing in Minnesota, only 21% of whom are on one or more forms of welfare, including just 6% who are on cash welfare, 7% who are on food stamps, and 18% who are on Medicaid. Any questions? Just do it, Mr. President. Do it. We're tired of paying for it. We're tired of being screwed over it. We're tired of being called bad people because we dare to say we can't afford all of the world's refugees. Do it. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, why on earth does America have the housing problem? It's almost like these stories are connected. Next. I definitely need this today. Oh, what were you going to say?
It makes you wonder how much of our tax dollars go to just fraud.
Boy, a lot.
Just to cover the fraud. They talk about just to cover the interest of the debt, just to cover the fraud. Did you hear anything yet?
No.
$8 billion so far that we know of. Yeah. But you wonder if it's that bad. We know it's that bad in California, New York. I mean, some of these states, PA. How much of this?
I didn't even read it all. Like, this could be a whole segment. Welfare use goes even higher for Somali households where children are in the home. Oh, goody. So make sure you come,
And it
hook
becomes
up with
generational.
somebody, maybe your brother, and crank out a couple kids. Incest, prevalent, not making it up. It's like 47%. What? What? I'll be right back.
And you wonder, well, first off, let me say it's Thursday, so bad jokes, wbrbrock@gmail.com. Good news, wendybellradio@gmail.com. Bad jokes and good news. It's just frustrating when you see all the fraud and know you're paying for it. And while you are struggling and they say it's affordability. Well, when you keep taking more of my money, sure, stuff becomes unaffordable. Simple as that. You know, when the more you take of my paycheck, the more I can't put money into the economy. That's as simple as groceries or a new car or a car or anything else, you know, other than the necessities. Everybody wants to buy something for themselves every once in a while or have a splurge. I just went to eat last night and went out to eat last night and it was $70. Who could do that on even a semi-regular basis? That's just outrageous. And you're hurting everybody when you make things unaffordable. The restaurants, the businesses, the people that work at the businesses and the restaurants, because they're not going to hire people that they can't afford. So it's a trickle down of everybody's getting screwed. And now the people working aren't getting the hours, so they can't afford things. It's a vicious cycle.
I just saw a headline from Kamala Harris saying there will be a marble bust of me. I'm an historic figure. All right, sweetie bug.
Bad.
All right. So if you have 100 pounds of fat to lose, you've got your work cut out for you. Can you believe this gentleman did it in 8 months? 8 months. How did he do it? And how did he do it where he didn't have all the skin everywhere? Slow, steady diet, supplements, and exercise. Morgain's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. Look, anybody now can do this. She's launched the portal to do the program anywhere in the country. It's a pretty big deal. It's called 90 Ignited. If you go to morgainsfitness.com, you're going to see the tab for it. You're going to see the button for it. Click on the button and sign up. See what it takes. 90 days of your time. 90 days of your time and your work and your energy and your commitment. Can you do it for 3 months? Because this guy did it in 8 months, 100 pounds.
He makes me feel like a slacker.
That's amazing. That is really amazing. So impressive. Very impressive. All right. I mean, but the people, look at the top and the bottom, right? Look at her pink little top before and after. That's crazy. Look at her back. Really? I mean, it's crazy. And you're like, 3 months. So by Valentine's Day, you'll be emerging from your cocoon, a glorious butterfly. How you doing? Let's see what's going on. What do we have happening here? We have 3.08.
That's it?
I personally would love 3.5.
That's what you could all give me for my birthday, a Rumble.
There you go.
There you go.
No wonder we have a housing problem. They invented it. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. We heard Harry Enton, CNN's data guru, flapping his arms over at the screen the other day, talking about unaffordability, Gen Z, very unhappy with President Trump. He's got some like 55% decline, drop, collapse, implosion of Gen Z support since like November of last year. Like gone, right? It evaporated. And if I listen to my adult sons, I hear something that's interesting. It's not interesting, it's terrible. They have serious doubt that they're going to be able to realize the American dream. The white picket fence, the 2 kids, the wife, a house, having to cut your grass, meaning getting to cut your grass. They don't think that they're going to be able to achieve it. And I tell them, I understand your concern, but just wait. Because when you bring in 25 freaking million people in 4 years, where do you put them all? Where do they go? They gobble up a lot of the housing, supply and demand, right? I'm no economist. I'm certainly not a Nobel laureate in economics. But I will tell you that supply and demand holds true. So you've got a lot of apartment complexes, a lot of homes to sell, a lot of places available. What's the price like? The price goes down, right? Fewer people needing it, more options to choose from. People want to entice you, yes. But when you've got a lot of people all wanting a fixed number of the same commodity, what happens? Price goes out of control. Alas, where we are. And then you've got stupid Fed chairman and other things going on. And yes, I understand. The American dream seems unattainable for young people today. But I encourage this generation and my sons, if you're listening, please tap the brakes on that. Because you're not alone. It is not your story. And it is getting fixed. Did you hear about housing and urban development? Did anybody remember who was the HUD chairman during, or secretary of HUD during Joe Biden? I don't even know. I have absolutely no idea who it was. But I can tell you who it is now. It's Scott Turner. And I can tell you that right now, the Biden era guidance that was it was unfairly favorable to the Afghan refugees is now being rolled back. Did you guys know that? That not only did we pull out of Afghanistan, kill 13 service members, blow up hundreds of other people, and dismember, hundreds of people at Abbey Gate? Not only did we do all of that nonsense, we brought back hundreds of thousands, 100,000 refugees from Afghanistan. And did you know that HUD under Joe Biden fudged the rules and muddied the waters a little bit so that more people could stay in public housing per room than the rules previously allowed? Say, what? What are you talking about? Let me read you this. It's from thecentersquare.com. HUD terminates Biden-era guidance, claiming it unfairly favors Afghans. Amid a national housing crisis, I wonder why. The Biden administration's Department of Housing and Urban Development produced guidelines encouraging property owners to forego some fair housing practices to favor Afghan refugees. Isn't that replacement? Right? Yes. The Trump administration argues in a new directive terminating previous guidelines. The Center Square obtained a HUD directive from the Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity, rescinding the guidance document called Operation Allies Welcome, frequently asked questions on fair housing issues, and withdrawing some guidance from this document, et cetera, with the agency claims violates the Fair Housing Act. Everything that the Democrats have done has been to your detriment and to the benefit of somebody who ought not be here, somebody who doesn't have skin in the game, somebody who's not part of this country, somebody who's not baked in its culture, someone who's not aware of its history, someone who's not deserving of your money just because they're a refugee. Well, We pulled out. We had to do something with them, so we filled up a bunch of planes, packed them in, right? And brought them here and said, deal with it and break. After President Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, his administration made a bad situation worse by prioritizing housing assistance for Afghan refugees who we now know were unvetted and unchecked. Meanwhile, my oldest son, Michael, at Clemson University during COVID, was hunted down by rabid faculty members because he didn't check in for his weekly COVID test. Get out of town, right? Somebody strange from another country who, by and large, hate Americans. Come on over. I don't care who you are. It's cool. I'm sure it's fine. Kid from Pennsylvania going to school in South Carolina who's already had COVID, right? I need you to come in every week and take your test. And if you don't, you'll get expelled. Interesting how that works. Well, I want you to hear Scott Turner. He's like, look, we want people, and this is what they've done now. They've launched a hotline, right? It's not a snitch line, but it actually is, and it's brilliant. We're going to start this hotline for people to report illegal aliens living in public housing. Public housing. You and I pay for public housing. Now, do you guys feel the way I do, like about welfare and things of that nature? I believe that we should all work together to do whatever we can to protect, to feed, clothe, take care of our children. Yes? That America as a people should look out after its youngest. Yes? Same on the flip side of the spectrum. If you're old, you shouldn't have to worry that you're going to die penniless with nobody near you and you're not going to have money to die peacefully, right? I believe that we can take care of you, medically and otherwise. But if you're between the ages of 18 and 64, why are you not working? Work. And if you're between the ages of 18 and 64 and you're getting food stamps, should you not at least try to be looking for a job, volunteering, going to school, doing something to move your needle? I don't think it's too much to ask for. Now, if you're from another country and you come in here illegally, you shouldn't get fed. You shouldn't be housed. You shouldn't get free health care. You shouldn't get free job training. You shouldn't get all of it under the sun by Democrats who just want you to vote Democrat, right? It's not complicated. Here's HUD Chairman Scott Turner. He's like, look, we want people to safely live in public housing. But if you are in an environment that's not, because you've got 47 Afghan refugees packed in a 2-bedroom apartment next door to you, give us your number. Go.
We have a vehicle now with our HUD crime hotline for people to report any sex trafficking, drug trafficking, illegal aliens, illicit things going on, nefarious activity. And I want people to understand this is confidential. You can do it without fear because we want to know what's going on in public housing authorities so we can root out crime, root out illegals, and serve the American people and the American people only.
100%. And by the way, if you're Trende Ragua, we want you out. We want you out. Why are you getting assistance? Why are we paying for you to terrorize people? I don't understand that. Scott Turner continues. He's like, wait, he's asked, how are you unwinding these Biden-era protections for Afghan refugees? How are you doing that? Here you go.
Our HUD Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity Office, we have taken down guidance that during the Biden administration encouraged landlords and property owners to forego regularly required credit checks for refugees so they didn't have to do credit checks. It encouraged landlords and public housing authorities to exempt Afghan refugees from occupancy limits so they can have as many people as they wanted living in HUD-funded housing. Also advise landlords and property owners to evade the fair housing laws, which we're supposed to uphold, evade the fair housing laws by publishing marketing materials in languages other than English so that they can market to Afghan refugees. Wow. That was what's going on during the Biden administration, but we have since withdrawn that and torn that guidance down to restore guidance that is for the American.
Your taxes pay for that. Your taxes. Hey, Generation Z, no wonder you feel broke. You are, because they're stealing from you. They are robbing. The Democrats robbed a generation blind. to fund all of its pie-in-the-sky nonsense to bring people from foreign countries here to vote Democrat. By the way, Afghans who entered the United States on a special immigrant visa, under a special immigrant parole program, and were granted humanitarian parole as part of the Biden administration's Operation Allies Welcome, they were eligible for over a dozen taxpayer benefits, y'all. And many of them are still getting them 4 years later. Ready? Benefits include supplemental security income, SSI, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, Women, Infants, and Children, WIC, HUD Public Housing and Section 8 housing vouchers, Emergency Medicaid, Affordable Care Act health plans and subsidies, Full Scope Medicaid, Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP, Federal Student Aid, and Pell Grants. Why not? You want to go to college and get a degree on us? I think that sounds like a great idea. Good. Real ID, they got that. I bet you they didn't even have to wait in line like you did, clowns, right? Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act services, refugee resettlement programs through the Office of Refugee Resettlement and Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. This is all according to the National Immigration Law Center. How was this made possible? How did all of a sudden all of these people get all of these benefits? Well, back in 2021 in September, don't you know, the 21st, in fact, all House Democrats voted yes. All House Republicans voted no to extend all of these, guarantee all of these SNAP benefits and whatnot for these illegals. It was called House Resolution 5305, Extending Government Funding and Delivering Emergency Assistance Act. And it was introduced by that whack job purple hair loon, Representative Rosa DeLauro, right? Now, how did it pass? It had to pass the Senate. It needed 60 votes to pass the Senate. Clearly, there weren't 60 votes. I mean, Republicans wouldn't have. Oh, yeah, they did. You know who voted for these Afghan refugees to have everything free under the sun and steal from your children and your grandchildren as a generational theft of wealth? I'll tell you who. Here are the names: Republican Senators Blunt, Burr, Capito, Cassidy, Collins, Cornyn, Graham, Lindsey, Kennedy, John Kennedy. So quick with the quips, so quick with the bad votes, John. Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, Rounds, Shelby, Tillis, and Young. Your greatest hits of rhinos who suck. Da 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 da! And what do you have? A housing crisis caused by Congress and the Biden administration. Other than that, I'm sure everything's great out there. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, no peace yet. Let's talk about Zelensky. Has he even read the peace deal that Trump put out there? The president has something to say about that too, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Let's talk about it. Chef IQ. Yes. Hello, Chef IQ. Go to chefiq.com. Use the code Wendy, and you're going to save 30%. There's always that man in your life, and it's women too, but I'm going to say man. There's that man in your life, and it's like kids. Like, what am I going to get dad? Dad doesn't need another stupid tie. Dad really isn't interested in brewing his own crappy microbrew at home. So that kit, let's pass on that. What does he need? A cardigan with leather elbows? No. How about the singular greatest tool so that dad never, ever fudges your steak again? That he never, ever undercooks a pork roast or overcooks the chicken breast. It's called Chef IQ. IQ Sense. This is it. In this box, behold, a 3-prong best sous chef ever gift for the, I don't know, chef in your life, the novice, the expert, the college student, the senior citizen. You stick a probe in the meat you're cooking, follow a few quick questions on your phone, and it tells you everything, counts you down, tells you when to flip, tells you when to move it from the heat, tells you when you can cut it. Oh, it's the best thing ever, 30% off. I don't know why you wouldn't buy one. I have that here. He has one, and I have one at home. It's phenomenal. ChefIQ.com. And there's more than that on that website. So ChefIQ.com. And what's this? What's the code? Oh, yeah. Promo code Wendy. How you doing? How's everybody? How we doing is what I need to know. We're almost at the 3rd hour mark. 3.24. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm hoping for 3.5, though I'd be happy with 3.33. I have no poll, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
3.3 by when?
The end of this segment. 7.6 watching on Rumble. Another almost 1,000 on X. Hi, and for all of you watching on the app, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you be here. Let's see. I haven't done Rafferty. I haven't done Simkovich. I haven't done Ireland. There's a lot of stuff to talk about still. Monday is the big day for our friend going to see Dr. Simkovich. And I'm hopeful that this concussion expert friend of ours is going to be able to fix her essential tremor. Say a prayer. Super hopeful. I believe anybody can help her. It's Dr. Simkovich. We'll talk a little bit about him in the next segment.
You got time.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
412-366-3700. Dr. Simkovich can diagnose concussion and traumatic brain injury. Then he can fix it. And he can fix it quickly. And it's this serious program where you sit down for several days in a row and he just focuses solely on you. It's him and you. He and you together the whole time. And then you walk out healed. You don't have headaches anymore. You don't have the sensitivity to light. You don't feel weird anymore. You've got it together. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. I would not submit that my friend should go see him if I didn't think there was hope. He is the healer. 412-366-3700. Don't wait. Talk to them. He's so nice. And his wife's a cutie. So apparently this whole peace deal that's going on in Ukraine, Russia, Trump, President has said some things in interviews kind of off the cuff recently about this. And he made mention that he didn't even think Vladimir Zelensky had read the peace agreement yet. Literally. And I cannot fathom the frustration. Brock and I say this to each other off the air commonly. I cannot imagine what this president knows and how frustrating it is for him to see what's going on. The indiscriminate killing of people every week. What is it? Another 5,000, another 20,000, another generation of people wiped off the map. See, Zelensky and Ukraine, you've launched an amazing fight. But at some point, and Trump even said this to Dasha Burns on the Politico interview, Russia's massive. It's just massive. And the way this is going to go down is that for war to end, Zelensky's going to have to take it on the chin. And he's going to have to cede land back to Russia. And then he's going to have to basically allow elections in Ukraine. And he doesn't want that. Why? Well, they're all embroiled in this huge corruption scandal there, which reminds me of the president's phone call with Zelensky during his first term, the one that sparked so much outcry and uproar. As the president was like, congratulations, Vlad, but, you've got a lot of issues there. And we know the prior administration. We know some people have been doing business there. You guys have a lot of corruption. I hope you get a grip on that because it's bad. It's really bad. Impeach him, right? Well, how about this now? Strong words, apparently, were said on a phone call yesterday involving this so-called peace deal that it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And here's the story from The Independent. This is from the UK. Ukraine-Russia war latest. Europe should prepare for war like our grandparents endured, says NATO chief. So apparently, strong words were said in a phone call with President Trump and his allies, Witkoff, et cetera, basically telling the Ukrainian delegation, you guys, this is it. Like, you have to, you really don't have any wiggle room. There really isn't any room for you to negotiate. This is the deal. And I want you to hear what President Trump even said about it. I think that he said earlier in the week that he didn't even believe Zelensky had read the agreement. To me, is astonishing. And it proves to me that obviously there's no money in peace. And you're seeing a lot of people in Europe not really wanting peace. Here you go.
I think he has to be realistic. And I do wonder about, how long is it going to be till they have an election? It's democracy. It's a long time. They haven't had an election in a long time. It's losing a lot of people. And it's possible that the people, if you look at the polls, I will say 82%, there was a poll came out, 82% of the people are demanding a settlement be made, Ukrainian people. They want to see a settlement be made. I understand that. They're losing thousands and thousands of people a week. They want to see it ended. And I do say, at what point, when do they have an election in Ukraine? That's not casting dispersions on anybody, but they do have a massive corruption situation going on there. And they do say, when are they, people are asking this question, when do they have an election? Are they going to have an election? Or are they going to just keep it going like this? So I think it's time to get that war settled. And I think it's a war that can be settled. But it takes two to tango.
And at this point, it does not seem like Zelensky is very encouraging at all in his posture. And he'd be a fool not to take it, right? What does President say? President Trump has said, look, we will work beside you. We will protect Ukraine's interests. If anybody wants to fiddle with Ukraine, we will be there to defend you. But we're also going to be working alongside you. Let's help rebuild your infrastructure. And in exchange for United States help to rebuild, as so much of the country has been absolutely pulverized, why don't we share in the natural resources? Why don't we share in some of the rare earth minerals? It's important to us as a country. And that is a way that you and we as countries, Ukraine, can be allies. And who's going to want to attack you when Americans are standing next to you? Not now that we've rebuilt our military, not now with the Golden Dome that's being financed, not now with all of this, the defense bill, that the defense budget passed, right? And Ukraine still, Volodymyr Zelensky. Why? Such a moneymaker, isn't it? How many other ways can you make money? How many other ways can you grift? What is it, time for a new pandemic? Seems kind of quick, doesn't it? When we come back, hour 3, yes, in fact, Ilhan Omar did marry her brother and commit immigration fraud. The details, I'm sure she doesn't want you to know about, next. So strong words were had. Figure it out, dude.
Just in, Senator John Thune tells President Trump, no, the blue slip tradition is here to stay, which lets Democrats unilaterally block Trump's judicial and U.S. attorney nominees. This has been in place for a long time. Both Republicans and Democrats support it.
I don't.
Yep.
Where's the filibuster? How do we get rid of Thune? Let me see. How is a Senate majority leader?
Federal judge orders Kilmore Abrego Garcia released from ICE custody. What?
Can't make it up. All right, let me tell you about Dr. Richard Rafferty. The way I feel about Dr. Simkovich and what he does for people who have fallen, been victims of an accident of some kind, and they know that their brain has been damaged. He can fix you. It's not surgery. There's no needles. It ain't bloody. It's not like that. It's his hands in your face, moving things around. It's intense. It works. Oh my. And in fact, when Brock and I were meeting with Dr. Simkovich, I was marveling at, I wish every kid could go to Dr. Simkovich once a year and have their progress and their brain health monitored with all the sports and all the other jazz going on. Because what Dr. Simkovich can do without tools is amazing. Dr. Rafferty does the same thing, but it's for your spine. It's for your discs to grow back. I mean, I didn't know that they could sponge back, but they can. Who knew? You just got to go to the right guy, and the right guy who's like, you sometimes have to have surgery, but if you're not down with somebody taking a knife into your spine and fiddling around with nerves and stuff, and I'm not, and you want to try to do it the natural way, and it's called regrowing your discs, 412-906-9600, PittsburghDiscInstitute.com. Intra-disc neutrosis, it's successful, it's undeniable. And then I love that Dr. Rafferty, after finding that 98% of his patients said it worked for them, they worked. He then resurveyed them 5 years later. How are you doing now? And 96% said, still doing great. That's encouraging, right? 412-906-9600.
What?
Huh?
Would you mouth?
I said I love them.
Oh. Wow.
What's up?
Someone broke down first-year taxpayer cost of resettling a Somali refugee. Initial resettlement, $15K. Cash assistance, $6,500. Food stamps, $3K. Medicaid, $7,000. Housing, $8,000. Education per child, $1,700.
That's if you don't live in New York.
Other child care interpreter training, $4,000. Total, $45,200.
Right?
That's just nuts.
I mean, when I went through all of those things, like, it's crazy.
When you see it is, and when you see a number associated with it,
it really hits home.
That's where the media doesn't do their job. Why shouldn't that be plastered? Let everybody know. You don't like what Gen Z, you don't like you can afford it. Here's how much it costs.
That's a billboard.
Yeah.
You know? That's one of those billboards. Just pop that bad boy up on the highway. Flashing it. Cost to resettle an Afghan refugee to America. Because you're such a good person. That's what we should be doing. So there's either a lack of critical thought on people on the left who are like, this is their sanctimonious do-goodery, right? We're such good people. We're spending all this money to bring them here only to have them bone us and rip us off. We're such good people. Or we're total blobs. We've been hypnotized. We are asleep at the wheel. I don't know. Do you guys like the idea of driving in an automatic car? I don't. Do you like that idea of just checking out and letting something take you wherever you go? It's like, I'm not. I think a lot of people they've gone into autonomous mode. Right? Bzzzt. I have no critical thought. I am a robot. Democrats are good people. Republicans are hateful. We want to bring in people because we are good and kind. Republicans are mean and racist and Nazis.
Your boy, Benny Thompson, in the hearing with Kristi Noem, just referred to the attack on a National Guardsman in D.C. as an unfortunate accident.
The murder of Sarah, what's her last name? Shoot. Sarah.
Noem responded, unfortunate accident. It was a terrorist attack. They shot our guardsman in the head.
Yeah, I don't think that was an accident.
What a
dick.
Like,
excuse me. I'm sorry.
But like, how does that even sound like it's?
Who would say
no one
that?
Would say like,
Who
I
would
wouldn't
say
say that about any human being. Like,
yep.
These people are deranged.
These people, Jew.
Yeah, not them. The Democrats. They're just
3.37. Let's go. Let's go to 3.5. Who's got it? 130 to go to 3.5. Let's do it. For Brock's 50th. I'll pimp this ride all day long. Let's go. You can do it. Is Brock going to wow us with a new open?
No.
Oh, why not?
I don't have one.
We don't have, like something that we haven't heard in a while. I don't know. Okay, you do you. Whatever. I'm not making him do anything. It's like, whatever. Freak.
I'll give the people one they'll like.
Five, four, three, two, one. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, I'm a basic person. I've broken the law. I've cheated. I've stolen. I've lied. I've been arrested. I've made bad decisions. I've done stuff, right? I've not killed anybody. You know, there's a degree of my deviance, and it happened when I was a much younger person. But you grow up, you grow out of it, right? And you realize that your actions have consequences. It's the greatest thing as parents we teach our children, right? We try to lead by example and teach them, look, you do things, you're going to have to pay the price. And there comes a point where mommy and daddy aren't going to be there to bail you out. I'm tired of watching in almost every single wave of fraud and corruption, every new bubble of suck that emerges the surface, the latest du jour, rip-off scandal of the American people. It almost seems like nobody ever really pays a price. And then I think about what happened on January 6th. And in no world does what happened on January 6th, with 99% of the folks who were participating that day, does it necessitate the level of outlandish overreach and the prosecutorial ire and the celebration and glee of incarcerating people whose greatest sin was to walk through an open door and walk through the Capitol building only to go out the other side like 10 minutes later? And then to be found guilty of all of this sedition, right? And to be thrown away for years and years and years. Some of the people virtually life sentences. Meanwhile, we know Joe Biden. I mean, it's not even a question, you guys. I'm not just chatting. The documents are there, in-house oversight. All of the suspicious activity reports, the deposits in Joe Biden and all of the family members' bank accounts, the shell corporations, the 10% for the big guy. Like, this isn't pie in the sky. I guess maybe it happened. They know. Are you allowed to be a vice president of the United States who basically accepts bribes and allows wild business transactions with his family to get rich? I mean, who does that? And then how are you allowed to get away with it? As Trump then is accused of doing all these things he's never been found guilty of doing. It doesn't make sense. And it's not supposed to make sense. And it pisses me off. And I know I'm not the only one. This Ilhan Omar thing. I'm going to read you this. This is from the Daily Mail. Ilhan Omar has blasted President Trump as a bigot for trashing the Somalians and having a creepy obsession with her private life. But Trump's unsavory claim that the leftist U.S. representative married her own brother to skirt immigration rules is not an outlandish statement. In fact, a Daily Mail investigation, and this is years old, we told you about this, it's not all of a sudden gone away, revealed that in 2020, the Minnesota Congresswoman admitted to doing exactly that, to marrying her brother, according to a close confidant. Somali community leader Abdi Kahim Osman Noor was the first person to go on record to the Daily Mail 5 years ago to confirm that Omar, 43 years old, vowed to get Ahmed Elmi, 40 years old, the man she allegedly called her sibling, papers so he could stay in the U.S. A wedding seemed out of the question, as the budding politician was still married to her first husband, Ahmed Hersi, father of her 3 kids. But that's exactly what happened according to paperwork from their 2009 nuptials in Eden Prairie, an upscale Minneapolis suburb. No one there knew that there had been a wedding until the media turned up the marriage certificate years later, Osman told the Daily Mail. Omar has dismissed suggestions that Elmi was her brother as a baseless rumor fueled by Islamophobia. But Trump refuses to drop it. And he's correct. Just do it. 100%. Drop it. Not drop it, but drop the details. On Tuesday at a rally in Pennsylvania where he admitted that there'd been some talk. Why did the president call Somalia a shithole country? Well, you know what? When you look at the nuts and bolts of it, that's hurtful to a people. Rampant incest, okay? Rampant low IQ caused by generational inbreeding. Rampant corruption, right? Rampant problems with drought and storms, right? I mean, come on. Shithole country is what he said, and he would not back down from it. We're outraged, the Somalian community says. Well, she married her own brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Donald Trump said this to the crowd in Pennsylvania earlier this week. If I married my sister to get citizenship, do you think I'd last for like 2 hours? Or would it be something like less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she is here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. Ugh. Islamophobic? Or calling out somebody who trampled on the rules of the United States of America and then managed to successfully fail upwards, create the legislation that would provide the right groundwork for the Feeding Our Futures fraud that ripped off Minnesota taxpayers to the tune of at least $300 million, not to mention the $1 billion to $8 billion we're hearing of other ancillary Somalian-funded fraud schemes that have ripped off the American taxpayer. Why is she here? Get out. You do not get insulated merely because you put your hand on the Bible and lied about wanting to protect the sovereign interests of this nation. So what is the penalty? Are you allowed to lie on immigration documents? This is my husband. He's coming across. Yay, we're so excited to start our family and to sponge off of the kindness and the lack of knowledge of the American people. Oh, right? Well, what's the penalty? Entering into or pretending to enter into a marriage with your brother so he can immigrate to the U.S. involves two separate, very serious problems. Number one, immigration fraud. And number two, in most cases, a criminally and civilly invalid marriage because marriage to a sibling is illegal in every U.S. state. Immigration law has consequences. If you file immigration papers based on a sham or on an invalid marriage, for example, claiming your brother is your spouse, well, it's immigration fraud. It's called willful misrepresentation. And there are certain codes within the State Department that find that you and your brother committed fraud or willful misrepresentation to obtain an immigration benefit that usually triggers one, permanent inadmissibility for your brother and possibly for you too if you seek benefits later, so bounce. And meaning, of course, he can be permanently banned from getting a visa or a green card, absent a very limited waiver. Denial or revocation of any visa or green card already issued based on the false marriage, and potential removal, deportation if the fraud is discovered after admission. Well, the fraud has been discovered, and he was admitted. And so what are we doing? Rob Finnerty asks the same question.
So here's our question tonight. Once again, we have this rumor that's been out there for years that Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar allegedly, reportedly married her brother to get him into the country from Somalia, which is a federal crime. Now, she's denied the rumor, but not really. When the White House Rapid Response Team posed the question this week asking if she married her brother, she didn't deny it. She answered the question with another question. But don't you think if there was a rumor out there, say that you married your brother, you might try and get in front of that one and maybe come out and make it perfectly crystal clear that it's not true, that you never married your brother? I know I would. No matter what it took, I would make it clear that I never married my brother. I've got two, and we've never been married, as far as I know. We haven't. So why hasn't she done that? And does anyone else think that it's just a little strange? No press conference with her brother, denying the rumors, no documentation, nothing. Very odd. It's also very strange that we still have no idea how Ilhan Omar got all that money. How did she get all that money? A Somalian refugee in the 90s. In 2020, her net worth was right around $65,000. Today, it's over $30 million. It's also strange that she created a program called Feeding Our Future, which mysteriously was robbed of $250 million by Somalian refugees from Ilhan Omar's district. That program lost $250 million, and now Ilhan Omar is worth $30 million. Again, the program lost $250 million, and now Ilhan is worth $30 million. Does anyone else think that's just a wild coincidence? We don't. And we know Ilhan didn't win the lottery. We know that. And if she was just lucky playing the stock market, look, I got to meet her financial advisor because he might be the best on earth. These are all questions that we think are worth asking, and we're not going to stop asking them because we think you deserve to know the truth.
I agree. Crickets from your legacy media. Duh. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, yeah, just do it. America has to be decisive enough to get rid of useless, dumb people like Hank Johnson. His most recent dumbness. Oh my, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Are you freezing?
Yes, it's kicked on.
Ireland contracting. Man, if you're freezing in your house because you've got crappy windows, been there, done that. The draft, how many of you have put that plastic sheeting up? I have, and the hair dryer to make it tighter. Bzzz, and you're like, this will make us warmer, honey. And it's not at all. And you're like, this is so trash and it doesn't work. Here, let's caulk around it. We're going to put in some foam insulation around it. Now, how about we get some new windows? It's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. But when you're working with a company like Ireland Contracting, they legit want your house to be warm. They want to work with you to make it happen. And so they're like, all right, let's go over all of the options. Do you want double hung? Do you want casement? Do you want wood? Do you want vinyl? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want a new door? Do you want a bay window? You want some skylights? What are you thinking about? How can we help you? And then how can we work with your budget? All right. Game on. Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. IrelandContracting.com. They're wonderful. And oftentimes you'll get either Gary or Diane either answering your phone call or answering the call to your house. And they're fantastic. You're going to love them. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. I'm going to quickly tell you about Lean. Before we get too far into this, take Lean. They're giving you a great discount right now. This is the Brick House Nutrition weight loss supplement. This is the dietary supplement. It's their hot seller. It's 25%, 20% off. 20% off. TakeLean.com and use my name, Wendy, to get that discount. And I'll tell you quickly about what it does. It's another one of those offerings that's not the shot, but gives you long-term, steady, significant weight loss. Okay? Most people need help to stop weight cycling, gaining and losing all of the big pounds. This is a great way to do it. All right. Non-prescription Lean. It was created by doctors. It's an oral supplement, not a GLP-1, GLP injectable. And the science is impressive if you look at it. It really is. Its studied ingredients also target weight loss in 3 powerful ways: maintaining healthy blood sugar. It's important so you don't crash. 2, controlling appetite and craving. 3, converting fat into energy. Bada bang. TakeLean.com. TakeLean.com. Promo code Wendy, 20% off. So good. So good. So happy they've extended this with us for you. One more day of it tomorrow. Let's see. What do they have going on next week? Got a couple days next week. Wow. Holy cow. Got a lot going on next week. Holy smokes. Ooh, Genucel's coming back.
Red light. I didn't get one.
I'm not so sure you need to do that. Like men, like when I look at a woman, yeah, I see this, and I'm a smaller person, so I'm going to have that weird neck. I'd like to stop it. I'm going to try it. I've been using it. You put on an oil and then you go, it heats up. It's nice and warm and soothing, and you go up and down and up and down and up and down. And then you put this lotion on top of it. I know you guys were looking at me earlier going, she is really something today.
She must be doing something with her neck.
Isn't that right? See? You always know just what to say. Ta-da! Oh my God, literally, it's Gale Force Winds in here.
It is. It's full
For the
force.
love. We used to have
349.
like a building guy who would monitor these things, but he left and nobody took his spot. Hence Gale Force. 65 degrees in here. Gateway pundit that at least made me chuckle. Look, I don't think it's funny that stupid people are in Congress. I don't know what's more offensive, people who don't have the mental capacity to do the job, because when they open their mouths, they sound so disappointingly dumb. I mean, it's not even funny. It's not, you wouldn't even make fun of it because it's just embarrassing. Or those who just are corrupt, like, which is worse. I don't know. But if we can't get 535 of the best men and women in this country to represent us, they are our people. We select them. They work for us. And somehow along the way, this transaction, this relationship has been sullied somehow. I don't get it. Because I don't feel like they work for us. Well, I feel bad if Hank Johnson is your guy. Georgia, sorry about that. You may remember Democrat Representative Hank Johnson. And we're going to play it for you here in just a moment, for famously suggesting that he was worried about the island of Guam with too many military members on it. It might capsize, might tip over. And he was serious, and we've got that. It's so ridiculous. But I want to tell you that he now is, in fact, says that America is the great Satan. This is what a sitting member of Congress calls the United States of America. He was on some guy, Dean Obadala podcast. I have no idea who that guy is, but yes, Hank Johnson, sitting member of Congress from Georgia. America is the great Satan. Johnson offered his evaluation of his country after the host, Dean Obadala, submitted that President Donald Trump's strikes on alleged drug runners in the Western Hemisphere were defining us as some kind of like a Putin-esque type of nation. And yeah, we're the world's #1 bully, Hank Johnson said. And we're using our immense, unrivaled power to rule over those who have less power. And we're doing it with impunity, he says. And this sends a shocking message to the world that America is indeed, what did they used to call the great hand of Satan or something like that? I mean, America under the Trump regime is demonstrating that that moniker was entirely accurate. The great Satan. That's what we have become in this country. When we can start killing people with impunity. I won't tell you that they did that to you with a jab, but you know what's going on. Well, let's remember who this Hank Johnson is. It wasn't that long ago when he made this fabulous commentary, October 2021. It is so uncomfortable. This is happening during a House Judiciary Committee hearing. Oh, my Lord. Wow. We need to do better in Congress.
This is a island that at its widest level is 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island, and about 24 miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more into the population.
The whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
And now you are dumber. Look, should we not demand better than that? How does someone with that kind of mental acuity and lack thereof win election to the United States House of Representatives? Someone, anybody, please tell me. Do we not deserve better? I just thought you needed that. Since you're from the land of Satan here in the United States, he says. Beautiful. We come back on the Wendy Bell radio program. How much did those ridiculously strict COVID lockdown measures hurt our children? Shocker alert. A lot. Next. It's so uncomfortable. He's talking to an admiral. And the guy is like, how far across is it from the biggest part to the shortest distance part? I'm like, are you high? What are you on? If I was in Georgia, I'd be, how embarrassed are you, Georgia? One of you is on the stream. I know you are. Just admit it, because look, we have Josh Shapiro.
I hope they're running commercials. You think he's going to take care of healthcare? He thinks Guam's going to capsize.
Like, you're almost waiting. You're like, and then it never comes. And you're like, oh, snap. He's being serious.
He's in Congress because we remember his musical career.
Remember that? He was singing songs. He was busting out the hits. He was playing some Dylan.
He played a guitar. Well.
And he was like, it was like listening. It's when you walk by your kid's room when they're practicing their instrument and you're like,
ugh, I'm going to have to sit through a concert of this.
And it's always the worst. And you're like,
yay.
How many shots can we drink before we go? Nothing yet.
Is it still the thing now that you get in the mail if it's a small letter?
Right?
And it's a big package.
Yeah, you're like, woo, these are my registration details.
Yeah,
This is
these
some
are like your
granular data.
pamphlets to make sure you come here.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all in email. So, it's kind of a cold, impersonal, like it really is. The immediacy of having things conveniently quickly, there's some loss of the experiment, right?
Of getting rejected or accepted.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I only applied to 2 schools. That was the stress. What if you don't get into either one?
I applied to 1.
Yeah, but didn't they take everyone?
It took a lot. Yeah, I don't think it's particularly hard to get into there's some majors at CU that are complicated, but it's not hard. It's not hard to get in. It's impossible to get out.
Did they do that? Like you could get into the school, but not necessarily the program?
Oh, yeah. You had to be there for 2 years. That's why I had a lot of people fail out. When you go to school at the foot of the Rocky Mountains and every sinful thing is at your fingertips, including the most beautiful scenery, you're like, psychology class or hiking to the Flatirons? I don't know.
Skiing or psychology?
Yeah, it is just a glorious place. It's God's country. And if you can pass that and focus on your work and get out of there, perfect.
Was the Mary Jane legal back then?
It was a wet campus, so they had things there were activities that were alcohol related, kegs. They would
like
do
kegs and
things.
eggs.
They'd have things like out on the University Memorial Center had this big, not balcony, but a big area and a big quad, and people, would play hacky sack and whatever. But you would have bands. We had great bands, great music. And they would have beer, and it was never any like people weren't like, it wasn't like that. And they did that Thursdays and Fridays actually, and it was great. It was great. But now it's dry, so right.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's like Boston. You can walk down the street with a huge 5-foot bong and go, but if you opened up a Budweiser, you'd be arrested. So I mean, riddle me that. It's the weirdest thing ever. Open container. Absolutely not. Bong hits for everybody. Knock yourselves out. Makes no sense. Right? I feel less fussy, guys. Thank you for talking me off the ledge. How close are we to 4?
Don't ask.
Oh, I'm very hungry. Who else is hungry? I'm hungry. I could go for a chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, and corn. Nibbled corn, though, or maybe some creamed corn. You guys like creamed corn? You either love it or you don't. I love creamed corn.
If I had to choose, it would be not creamed, but
yeah. So how about I went to go get my mom's ring yesterday? Surprise! It wasn't actually that ring that was ready. It was like a necklace of Michael's that needed a new whatever. And so that was ready, but I thought it was the ring. And so I was like, and then she's like, here's the necklace. And I'm like, she's like, yeah, we don't have the ring back. And I'm like, You can't always get what you want, right?
You can get what you need.
Wow. If you try.
Hard enough.
Ah! Shocking breaking news alert. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are hearing it here first on the Wendy Bell radio program. Shutting down the universe and locking our kids at home and keeping them away from their friends and keeping them away from actual education apparently wasn't very good for them. I know. We were also in the clouds on that one. I don't know what could possibly happen. Do you guys remember the story? We told this story. I had to share it with you. It was absolutely incredible to me. It was a community somewhere, maybe near Milwaukee. I forget. I think it was Wisconsin. And a woman was not allowing her kids to get vaccinated, and she didn't believe that they needed to wear masks at school when things finally reopened. And so the kids were basically blocked from all activities. They were segregated, right? As that was back in the civil rights time. You're not allowed to sit here. Here's the colored area. This is for you non-maskers. And do you guys remember what they did in the library? They created a plexiglass, almost cage, for this little girl and her little brother. Because the mom was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. This virus is minuscule. This stupid mask is doing nothing to prevent you from getting the virus any more than a chain link fence would stop a mosquito from flying through. And so the two kids were literally sequestered so that they were caged animals looking out from the library. And of course, the school would bring in the kids who were all good little boys and girls wearing their masks to have activities or what have you. It was pathological. We were like, what is wrong with you? Where is your brain? Where are the adults in the room? That's all we wanted to know. Do you remember that? For a good long time. Well, there's a new study out. I'm reading from the Daily Caller. It finds COVID lockdowns hurt kids far more than officials were willing to admit. No kidding. These are the people who demand that you pay attention to them and fix Obamacare that they created. Got it. Children's mental health unsurprisingly plummeted when they were forced to stay home during the COVID-19 pandemic, a recent study has discovered. Using medical claim data from a large private health insurer in California, researchers found that school closures were associated with increased spending on depression and anxiety treatments for 5 to 18-year-olds. This is according to the New York Times. During the pandemic, a stunning 2.8% of children required professional help for mental health. But not long after schools reopened, children were 43% less likely to need treatment for mental health conditions. Oh, you mean having kids learn and work together and then go outside and, I don't know, run around and play on the playground and then maybe on the swings, right? What did these people do? Do you guys remember? I remember. You guys remember this story from NBC? It's from Pittsburgh. This is my backyard. Brock and I were on the air talking about this, saying, what in God's green earth is happening to the grown-ups in this country? In what world do you think you should walk your dog in the woods wearing gloves, like surgical gloves, and like 2 masks? You're in the freaking woods. I would pass people walking Murphy into the woods, and they'd literally go to the side of a tree like I was infected. I'm like, you're outside. I'm not coming up to you and licking your face. What is the matter with you? And then in our neighborhoods, they started being very serious. People aren't following the rules. People are going outside. You're not supposed to be going outside. How dare you? And so they cautioned off like crime scenes, local parks. Literally, like it was a crime scene. And then that wasn't enough. People still aren't following the rules. People are going outside. They're getting fresh air and vitamin D. How dare they? And then they cut all of the nets off of the hoops for basketball, and they took all of the seats off of the swing sets. Because that made sense. And in our community, this is where Scott Pressler really came on the scene, because he exposed the liver out of this. They started dumping dump trucks full of sand in the skate parks. Nothing says stay home, stay calm, and stay safe like that. I want you to hear the news report. It's almost as stupid as Hank Johnson.
New details now on the sand that is being dumped at a skate park in Polish Hill. We asked Mayor Peduto about it, and he said people just weren't following the rules and said there have been 6 acts of vandalism. The locks were cut off the gates, too, several times. So the city made the decision to dump the sand.
That stopped the vandalism. That stopped people from breaking the rules.
Okay, you know why people broke the rules? Because your rules are stupid. And all people wanted to do was get outside and not be in the house where they're stuck with their alcoholic father or access to a bunch of things that normally they don't have access to that might allow them to hurt themselves. Using medical data from a large private health insurer in California. We didn't need medical data. I could have told you using my own house as a microcosm of the world. Why did my kids do okay during COVID? Because I had a bunch of them at home at the same time, right? They were never alone. My youngest kids are twins. They were always together. Got a boy neighbor to the right, got a boy neighbor to the left. All of the kids managed to get around outside together. Why? Because the parents knew playing wiffle ball in the backyard probably wasn't going to kill our children. It didn't seem to have the same lethality and contagion data that the CDC and Fauci and others tried to scare us with. We watched. We made decisions. We acted responsibly. We acted on the behalf of our children. And they did okay. A lot of other kids didn't have that. Their parents weren't home. They were at work. Kids getting stuck home by themselves so that they're stuck on a screen for their social interaction. Did nobody in the medical professional world, as they were pumping out all these drugs for us to take with Operation Warp Speed, and Scarfy Deborah Birx was like, oh, we really think that you should do it, and then later admits, yeah, we really didn't have any data on social distancing. It sounded reasonable, and everybody just did it, so what the hell? Oh, my goodness. Medical spending and prescriptions issued for mental health concerns began declining about 4 months after schools reopened. Oh, that's a huge shocker. For most of the pandemic, discussing the downsides of prolonged school closures was treated as socially and professionally off limits. Look, this is why the name of today's show, the title is Just Do It. I don't care if it's incorrect politically or socially or otherwise for someone, and if it's President Trump, so be it. to have the brains and the wherewithal to do the right thing while everybody else is cowering, right? Why do the UK and France and Germany have such problems right now? Because their cultures feel like it's a bad thing, that it's politically incorrect to say all of these Muslim people who have completely overtaken our countries have destroyed things. And we need these people to get the hell out. It's Islamophobic, says Somalian Ilhan Omar. Hey, Ilhan, why don't you and your brother suck it and get the hell out of my country? Does that sound unreasonable to you? Does that sound mean and nasty and biased and racist and hateful? Ooh, no. It's called real. We're tired of paying for you. We're tired of you lying to us. We're tired of the fake programs that allow you to steal from us. We're tired of the great replacement of the American citizen. And those of us who have children who still believe that maybe there is something called an American dream left. We'd like to open the door as much as possible to that because you've closed it and you deadbolted it. And then you put the little chain at the top thinking that was going to seal the deal. Of course our kids suffered. Of course it was horrible. Of course it was ridiculous. Of course it woke us up. Tell me that was when you woke up. Because I don't know if it was the people holding hands walking a dog through an empty parking lot wearing masks that woke me up as much as a mayor who thought it was a reasonable idea to fight the vandalism of cutting off locks, closing off one of the few safe places for kids to go to get the hell out of the house. Thinking that filling up a skate park with sand was the right message. People aren't following the rules, he said. No. See, we question the rules because when they're made by morons like you, there's always a deleterious effect on the rest of us. So, Mr. President, deport him. Go track him down. Get Ilhan Omar out of Congress. Take out those narco boats. Go after people who have corrupted our Congress. Expose the sinners. Parade them. Public display. Let us all see what we know is true. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, did you guys hear that CNN won't allow my boyfriend, Stephen Miller, on its network? Like they've made him available as much as possible, the Trump administration, anytime you want. And they're like, yeah, about that. No. I wonder why. It, to me, feels like winning. Next on the Wendy Bell radio network.
And then in Pittsburgh now, they're talking about raising taxes again.
Mm. For what was that now?
And what this is the kicker. This is Democrat government.
Yes.
New mayor hires someone for a senior position. New role. City is in desperate need of money. We're broke. It's broke. 24 years old. Just a bachelor's degree, senior position. When did anyone 24 deserve a senior position in anything, right? Well, if you're Josh Shapiro's daughter, you get hired by another Democrat lackey that they just elected mayor. Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
No nepotism here. No. Raise Brock's taxes. Good idea, you pieces of
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I had to laugh at this study, though. The lockdown did more damage than anybody said. Well, until you want to be serious about the numbers of people who were killed by the vaccine or who suffered life-changing, forever-altering side effects, I don't really have a word to say to you. Right? Period. How'd we do?
Democrats.
I so didn't nag you. We're almost 120 away from 377. That's a very respectable end number. 120. You guys have been jamming. I love it. Thank you so much. No, Land Girl says, are you serious about Shapiro's daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that either. Makes logical sense, right? Remember me when you become president, not. Please. If that dude fancies himself presidential material, I don't think the Democrats would allow it. We'll see. Whatever. Huh. I have to figure out something to make for dinner tonight. What do you guys think? Good talk.
I just sent you a.
You sent me
tweet. The tweet. Shapiro's daughter. This is why people lose.
You didn't. I don't have it.
It's one. Oh, did I send it to someone else? Oh, I did. Sorry. It's why people get so frustrated with government. It's the lackeys. We have no money. Let's raise Brock's taxes so there's some nepotism that can go on. But then again, the mayor is basically got his job from nepotism. So
see, I can make my fussiness jump over across the body, brain, or blood brain, whatever barrier. I now have him infected. Me here in the studios of the Wendy Bell Radio Network. So we have a mayor, or governor rather, in our state, Josh Shapiro. He's got 4 kids, if I'm not mistaken. Right, total. And he's got a daughter who I guess is 24. I'm not even going to open the article. I don't even care. We also have a new mayor in the city of Pittsburgh, who is like every other mayor before him who's a Democrat. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to get better. The dead deer decomposing on the highway won't all of a sudden be picked up. The garbage, plastic sheeting that has wound its way up the mountain, up the hillside, around all of the highways, those will never get picked up. Those will never get cleaned. It'll always look filthy. Our taxes will always be out of control. But thank goodness, our new mayor, Corey O'Connor, is deciding to put the governor, Josh Shapiro's 24-year-old daughter, in some kind of a senior administrative capacity level with his administration. Because, graduating from college and working for 2 years certainly would qualify you for such an important position. But thank God we've got a county executive who's a socialist whose job number 1 was to raise property taxes across the entire county by 1/3. Why are we upset? Right? Stephen Miller, oh my gosh, he said last night on Hannity, I thought it was hilarious. It's not, but it is. He says, look, you know what? They won't even accept me anymore. They won't take me anymore on CNN. They can't handle what he does info-wise to destroy their fake news narrative. Listen.
So over the last few days, our brilliant White House communications shop has reached out to CNN, which of course is running one fake news hit piece after another. And they said, Stephen Miller would like to come on your network to rebut any of these lies. And they asked what show. They said, Stephen Miller will do any show from dawn to dusk. They said, what topic? The White House said Stephen is available to discuss any topic with any host at any time. As far as you're concerned, Stephen has no scheduling conflicts at all. He will make himself available from the first hour of air to the last hour of air on any subject. And you know what CNN's response was? We will not take him, period, for any show on any topic. That is completely true, Sean.
I have absolutely no idea why that would be. Do you, I mean, right? Why don't they want Stephen Miller on CNN or any other of these networks? Because he tells the truth. He is unabashedly honest. He's not worried about political correctness. If he tramples on your toes, move your feet faster, does not care. You know what? I voted for that. And because of it, you get to enjoy Stephen Miller now, the national treasure, eviscerating your mainstream media.
You may assert.
Oh, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we always have hope. Thanks for being part of the show. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace.